Well, thank you very much, Tony. Great to see you again after our very productive meeting on Tuesday. Um, I really welcome the commitments that Prime Minister Trudeau and President Biden made on the roadmap, which in fact mirrors many of the themes that you raised in your own confirmation hearings to renew U.S. leadership and diplomacy. This is a particularly important time as we continue to face the COVID-19 pandemic. Both Canadians and Americans have been impacted by this pandemic and have suffered losses and faced many challenges in this crisis. I think you'll agree with me, now is not the time for our two nations to turn inward. It's important that we work together to fight COVID-19, support our citizens, and ensure that a sustainable and inclusive economic recovery can happen. It's also important that we maintain the integrity of our cross-border supply chains. This is where the rubber hits the road, or if I could say, the rubber hits the roadmap. The Canada-US trade relationship is balanced, fair, and highly complementary in many areas, including the manufacturing, technological, agri-food, and energy sectors, just to name a few. We have a lot of work ahead of us, and the roadmap, I think, charts a course for Canada and the United States to partner and to tackle many challenges, including the ones that we're going to discuss today. I note the emphasis on diversity and inclusion in the roadmap, as well as your announcement earlier this week, creating a new Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer at the State Department. We're working on similar things as well. And I'd be very happy if our officials could exchange best practices and things we might do together. Maintenant, Tony, je sais que vous maîtrisez très bien la langue de Molière, alors je vais me permettre de dire quelques mots en français. Comme vous le savez, le Canada et les États-Unis entretiennent l'une des relations bilatérales les plus étroites au monde. Et même si nous ne sommes pas toujours d'accord sur tous les enjeux, je peux dire avec confiance que dans la grande majorité des cas, on s'entend très bien sur les enjeux qui nous concernent. Alors, en fait, je tiens à vous remercier, M. Blinken, pour votre collaboration et celle du président Biden envers une solution au cas des deux Michael. Nous le disons souvent, mais c'est très, très vrai. Il n'y a pas deux pays qui dépendent plus l'un de l'autre que nos deux pays pour leur prospérité et leur sécurité. As the United States engages, I want you to know that you can count on Canada to be by your side. And I think that you'll find that we can be surprisingly helpful to you while advancing our own objectives. So thank you very much and delighted to be with you today.
Mark, thank you so very much for receiving our virtual delegation in Canada. I so wish that we could be there in person, but I'm looking very much forward to the day. I think sooner rather than later when we'll actually be able to do that, and also to see you here in Washington. Like you, I'm so pleased that our leaders were able to spend real quality time together a few days ago, and to review and renew the U.S.-Canada partnership, particularly part of the roadmap. And I subscribe to everything that you said, but we have an incredibly broad and deep agenda to go through and to cover. It's hard to think of two countries whose destinies are more connected, more intertwined than ours. And we know that every single day, the work that we're doing, but more important, the deep ties between our people in virtually every aspect of our societies are benefiting both countries. And this is very much the spirit in which we're looking forward to this real renewal in our relationship. I was, I think, telling some colleagues the other day, I first started working at the State Department in 1993, and the very first trip that I made with my then boss was to Canada. So in a sense, the first foreign trip I made working in government was to Canada, and it's wonderful to be able to make this virtual trip today. The good news is no jet lag. The bad news is no frequent flyer miles, but we'll work on both of those things. I know we have a lot to talk about. And you've alluded to virtually all of the key points. I would say one of the things that's so important is that when we're working together, especially on the many global challenges that confront both of our countries and both of our peoples, we are really democratic and diplomatic force multipliers for each other. And that's something that the United States places great value in. En tous les cas, je suis très content de retrouver tous nos amis canadiens, de pouvoir travailler ensemble sur les dossiers qui ont un impact sur tous nos citoyens. Ce n'est pas quelque chose de disconnecté avec la vie de nos concitoyens. Au contraire, ce que nous faisons, ce que nous œuvrons ensemble, le but, c'est d'améliorer leur sécurité, leur prospérité, leur opportunité, l'espoir que nous avons tous de mener une meilleure vie. Et c'est dans cet esprit que nous travaillons ensemble. So thank you so much for welcoming us today, and let's get down to work. Thank you.